Hi, I'm Jennifer with Resilient Life Therapy, here with a lot of great concepts and ideas and tips to help your life feel better. So today I want to talk with you about being heartbroken. Look, almost all of us have been through it, right? We have been through a breakup, whether we're the one who got broken up with or whether we're the one who did the breaking up. It is a brutal journey, almost always. Even if it's the right decision, it is still an incredibly painful experience in life. So I just want to talk today about something I commonly see with people going through a breakup. Again, whether they're the one doing the breaking up or whether they're the one who's getting broken up with. There tends to be a tremendous amount of fear involved in going through a breakup. So it goes something like this, right? That the thoughts in our head, the emotions, the experience go something like this. First of all, there is tremendous pain, right? There is grief, there's loss, there's pain. There's a lot of doubt. But what I hear a lot from people is a lot of fear. And that fear plays like this. I'm never going to be okay again. It's always going to feel like this. I'm never ever going to find anybody like this person again. My life will never be the same again. And if you've lived any amount of time and you've been through previous breakups, you know that while in the moment of the breakup, that feels utterly and completely and devastatingly true. It's not true. It is true in that moment. It feels so true. But as time goes on, right, and we do start to heal, and we do start to move forward, other things do come into our life. Other people do come into our life. Oftentimes better things. So in that moment of the breakup, when it feels so incredibly difficult, and so incredibly scary, it's really important to remember that it is a moment in time, and that it's a moment in time that's going to pass to the next moment in time. And here's why it's so important. There's a couple of reasons. Number one, because you need in that moment, you need solid footing that the pain and the confusion and the distress that you're in today is not permanent, right? We can do a lot of things. We can deal with a lot of distress if we know there's something else coming. Like we just have to do this for a little while. And so it's really important to remember and to know this current pain that I'm in, this current distress I'm in is going to pass. It really is. But here's the other important reason, and I see this a lot. And I see it with people who are going to do the break, who are the ones who are going to be breaking up with the person, right? None of us, well, almost none of us, most of us don't like hurting other people. And so we stay in relationships far too long because we are so afraid and worried about putting the other person in pain. And what I say to clients often, and I find that, no, it's men and women, but this tends to be a lot with teenagers and college age women. This fear that I'm going to hurt this person who I do care about. I don't want to be in this relationship anymore, but I do care about this person, and I do care that they're going to be in pain. And so what I tell them is this, look, we often end up being cruel in the pursuit of being kind. And what I mean by that is we often keep the person, we drag them along, right? We give them false hope. We give them false reassurance. We stay in the relationship far too long. That's not feeling good for anybody, because we don't want to be cruel. We don't want to hurt them, right? But we want to be kind. But we end up being cruel in the pursuit of being kind, because man, if you've been on the other side ever, you know how hard that is. When you know your partner's not in it anymore, But they kind of keep reassuring you, and you don't really want to hear the bad news, so you kind of keep hanging in there. But I've heard this over and over from people on the other side who are getting broken up with. They're like, just tell me. Like, if you're gonna break up with me, just tell me. Stop stringing me along, right? So that becomes really important to understand that the kindest thing we can do for somebody is to be clear with them and to not give them false hope. And to remember that as devastated as people are in the midst of a breakup, that devastation in that moment is as bad as it gets, right? They are in the moment of the real overwhelming pain. That will look different going forward. They will not get stuck there in that moment of overwhelming pain. If you let them go and if you are clear with them, they will move forward. One other mistake that I see people make, and this is again, especially all you teenagers and 20-somethings out there, you guys grew up in a very different world than I did because I'm old. The ease with which you can continue to communicate with people and peek in on their life is disastrous for breakups, right? Like back in the day, like the worst thing we could do was you would call somebody's home phone and you'd hang up, right? Or you'd drive by their house, right? That was like that was bringing it on. That was like the worst you could do, right? These days, like you guys string it out because you keep texting with each other and you keep checking on people's social media and you have friends who are checking and they're telling, like, that is disastrous because it just strings all of this stuff out. It creates such a lack of clarity. It creates such mixed messages, right? There's so little clarity in there about like, we're done. We're not in relationship anymore. So when I can get people to understand this and understand the importance of cutting the ties, don't be communicating with the person anymore. Don't stay up in each other's business. Like, stop. Because as soon as you do that, from that day, you get to start moving forward and they get to start moving forward. As long as you're up in each other's business, it just keeps dragging the pain out, right? So this is hard because people kind of want to convince the other person like it's okay, right? They want to get the endorsement for the breakup. But that's not what happens. We just keep sending all these mixed messages. So the importance of clarity and saying it's got to be done really will help with a breakup. So listen, I hope that this is helpful. If you're going through a breakup or you're thinking about going through a breakup, really be aware of the need for clarity. Be clear with the person. Be kind by being clear. And realize that the current pain, today's distress, today's grief and loss really is going to pass. And yes, there really will be other people and you really will love again. So the fear that's keeping you trapped, whether you're the one that got left or you're the one that's doing the leaving, that is fear. Fear should never drive the bus. It's always driving us off the cliff, okay? All right, so listen, I would really love to hear your comments in the comments section down below about this. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. And if you found this helpful, please give it a like and also share it, because if you found it helpful, somebody else will as well. And if you want to find out more about me, just look for the description, the video's description down below. It's got a link to my website where you can find out a lot more about me. All right, guys, hang in there. If you're going through a breakup, hang in there. I promise you, your life will get better. All right, bye.